Hello and welcome to Rajya Sabha Television. You're watching The Big Picture with me, Frank Pereira. Now, a lot has been written about the Indian National Congress's Himalayan failure in the recent assembly elections in 5 states. While the Congress lost the elections outright in Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, it failed to form the government in Goa and Manipur despite finishing as the largest party. These losses have seen the grand old party rapidly losing its relevance in India, and the leadership of the party's Vice President Rahul Gandhi has come under extreme scrutiny. The only state where the result went clearly in its favor was Punjab. With Captain Amrinder Singh taking oath as the Chief Minister of Punjab, Congress has regained its lost ground in the state after 10 years. It is also being cited within the Congress as an example as to how to challenge the resurgent BJP, which is ousting the party in one state after another across the country. On this edition of The Big Picture, we will analyze the future of the Indian National Congress. Joining me on the program today are Professor Mridula Mukherjee, historian, Siddharth, Varadarajan, founding editor of the Wire.in, Rajesh Sharma of the BJP, and Vadakkan, spokesperson of the Congress. Thank you so much to all my guests for joining me on the program. Professor, I'd like to start with you. Of course, the Congress seems to be facing an existential crisis at the moment.
Well, I think it's been there for a while. I think in the 2014 national elections as well, you could have said the same thing. So I don't think that it's particular. What we hoped, of course, I'm sure, was that the things could have been different.
But since 2014,
Bihar told a different story. But you're absolutely right, and I think that the time has come for the party to take a very hard look and make significant changes at, I would say, 3 levels: organizational, programmatic, and ideological. And I think in all 3 of these, what they need is greater clarity and consistency. We've heard about organizational changes for a long time, reintroducing elections at every level within the party structure. It happened in the Youth Congress and in SUI and all that, but didn't go very far. As far as the programs are concerned, I think the party has had a fairly consistent track record of being a left-of-center party. Its record in the UPA was very significant on many counts, especially the social welfare legislation. But I think what needs to be done is a full-fledged program which includes all aspects of economy, society, and polity. And of course, ideologically, I think they need to be very clear where they stand. I think sometimes you see a bit of waffling, even though by and large, again, I said it has been a secular left-of-center party. So I think on all these 3, what is needed is much greater clarity, focus, and then work along those lines.
Tom Vadakkan, ideologically, where do you stand? Where does the party stand at this moment?
Ideologically, we have stood where we have been all the time. Different perceptions there created by vested interests. You know, there are all sort of surgeons passing around saying there has to be a cardiac surgery, what have you. But actually they are quacks. These advisors are essentially the basis of the problem. They are part of the party venture. They are part of the movement. Congress is not just a party, it's a movement. And these gentlemen today, for reasons best known to them, hit out against each other. And there's also they're also targeting the leadership. We're in the midst of a war, finished it.
But is there no crisis?
Ground reality is that we won Goa and Manipur. But the manifestation of this larger government and the dispensation today, what happened in Goa, muscle power is not there, but money power played the game. The highest bidder got it. Now to blame the leadership, leadership can direct. You are the leading party there. The governor refuses to give an appointment. You can't barge into Raj Bhavan. He says he wants to know who the leader was. He could communicate with anybody and find out. The leader was there. But niyat, what you call in Hindi, is what is creating a problem.
Sure.
The essential thing about Congress party, we have been very firm. We have made mistakes and we accept mistakes, we correct it on the line. But this kind of an operation. What happened after Bihar elections? Did we hear this question from the media? That what happens to Mr. Modi, what happens to Mr. Amit Shah after the Bihar defeat? It happened in Delhi. What was happening? Assembly elections happen, every election is a new challenge. We will face up to it, gear up to it, fight it. Now there are states where they hold charge. You have Madhya Pradesh, you have Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan. These are challenges. We are ready to face it. Ideologically, there's no problem. But yes, there are some structural defects which we need to correct, which we will internally do it.
Fair enough, fair enough. I'd like to bring Siddharth Varadarajan in now that you spoke about Manipur and Goa. Of course, single largest party, Siddharth Varadarajan, in Goa and Manipur was the Congress, but in spite of that, they could not, cobble up some kind of an alliance there or bring together some MLAs and form the government. Of course, today there was a dissenting MLA from the Congress in Goa who said that the blame should directly be placed on the high command of the Congress because they could not walk the extra mile when it came down to it.
I think what we have seen in Goa is total dysfunctionality of the Congress. As soon as it became clear to them that the Congress had the largest number of seats but was short of a simple majority, the party should have immediately made contact with the smaller parties, particularly Goa Forward, to settle this matter, what it now emerges that both the Gomantak party and Goa Forward were waiting to be called, and it just so happened that the BJP, which is far more agile and adept in these matters and has much better resources and clout, was the one that made the call first. I think Manipur is slightly different. I think that just as I'm quite clear in my mind that the Goa verdict was against the BJP, even if the Goa, BJP got the highest, is the single largest party in terms of vote share. But the way in which the Chief Minister lost his seat, ministers lost their seats, suggests that the Goa electorate wanted a change. But by the same token, in Manipur, the Congress may have a larger number of seats, but look at the growth of the BJP in that state. It's clear that the electorate was tired of the rule of the Congress party. Congress, through the vagaries of the first past the post system, got more seats, but in terms of vote share, the BJP is ahead of it. So I think the two are not exactly comparable, but clearly politics is the art of the possible, and it calls for being nimble-footed, it calls for being resourceful, and the Congress party, simply because of its top-down, top-heavy approach, is unable to play the game of practical politics, and we have to add that to the list of long failings.
Was a major opportunity missed? Did the Congress miss the plot somewhere?
I think it did. I think that in both Goa and Manipur, a more savvy leader would have known how to play the game and to make sure that the party converted its position as being the party with the highest number of seats, converting that into forming a government. So I think that the party, Mridula mentioned need for organizational, ideological, programmatic changes. This is yet another instance of how the party is losing the plot, is not able to compete with the BJP in the game of practical politics.
Indeed, fair enough. Rajesh Sharma, has the BJP already written the obituary of the Congress? Is this a very pretty situation for the BJP to be in at the moment?
BJP has won the biggest of the state, Uttar Pradesh, which everyone knows that, which leads to Delhi and which matters a lot. And at the same time, it has done it after 40 years. I think after 40 years, a majority of more than 300 seats is there. So definitely it is a great thumping victory of the Bharatiya Janata Party as well as the Prime Minister. But I will also say one thing, this was also a confidence vote, because last time in 2014, we went row-handed because the persons in the whole country were fed up with the scams and corruptions, and they elected us. And after that election, this was the first major election. I can say it was a referendum, and where we have proved ourselves, the way the government has taken up in 3 years, the way we have proved, it was a referendum and it was a confidence vote, and we were acceptable in Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand. I will back to differ at one point, that it was horse trading in Goa and Manipur. I will say one thing, Maharashtra Gomantak Party was there with us since long back. It was just associated with us since a couple of months back only. But here, you can know one thing, that they solely came and told that we will be with you. That was the reason they wanted that their state should grow, and in center Bharatiya Janata Party is there, and the Bharatiya Janata Party can give a better ruling. It will be beneficial for the state as well as for the center. So that was the reason. Similar was the reason with Manipur too. So that was the reason both the independents and the smaller parties came to us. So we don't take the call of all those things, that horse trading and all this thing. So definitely that will back to differ. But one more thing, you see the results in Northeast where BJP never had a vote bank. So in Assam we started, in Arunachal we are, in Manipur we started from nil, and now we are here in forming a government. So in Northeast we are doing tremendously well. In South I can say Karnataka, Andhra, Telangana, Kerala, vote share is increasing, and Bengal, and now you can see in Odisha, the way we have done in the polls. So Congress has gone to, I can say, not only third, it is very down in third. So that is which was one of the major competitor of BJD. So definitely we are doing well across the country. BJP is an acceptable party across the country, and it has become an umbrella party, definitely.
Indeed, fair enough. You know, Professor Mukherjee, as far as the Congress is concerned, you spoke about, structural changes, organizational changes, and you also spoke about how the party needs to reinvent itself ideologically as well. But what about leadership change? Do you believe that somewhere the party has to think about a new leader as well and think beyond the Gandhis maybe? Because if you look at the second rung of Congress leaders as well, they are all extremely close and living in the shadow of the Gandhis. You're not looking beyond them at all.
Well, in my opinion, the issue of leadership is one that will either way get resolved once the other things fall into place. I do not believe that that's how politics functions. You can go on changing leaders, but if you have the same basic problems that remain, you will end up in the same kind of situation. So I think you're starting at the wrong end. If through the kind of changes that I'm talking about, the Congress party chooses for itself a different leadership, so be it. That it should happen through proper processes. I frankly do not understand that a party which started with internal elections right from 1920, once Gandhiji took over the Indian National Congress, continued it throughout the Nehru era and well into the Indira era, revived it under Narasimha Rao after 1991. Why are internal elections not happening in the party? Any number of reasons are given, but none of them is good enough. You cannot, I think, go on functioning. You have to be an example. You are the oldest party in the country with such a long history. There is absolutely no reason you can't find a way of having regular internal elections. That itself will solve so many of the problems which I think crop up, because the whole issue of whether or not regional level strong leadership is tolerated in the party or not, if it happens through a proper, transparent electoral system within the party, well, it will get established, whether those people really have the strength or not. So I think those kind of fundamental, the time has come to make those kind of fundamental changes rather than just go on talking about whether some people will say the Congress party will collapse without the Gandhis. Others say they will not. I do not know whether it will collapse or whether it will not collapse. But as a historian, when I see the whole history of the party, I think this is where the weaknesses have come in over the years. This is a major area where weaknesses have come in.
Sure.
So I think that needs to be rectified.
Indeed, indeed. Why no internal elections? I mean, is the Gandhi family afraid that they might not be voted within the party itself?
That's not true. In fact, internal elections are always been supported by the Gandhis. From Rahul Gandhi to Sonia Ji, they wanted internal elections. Finally, last time there was an election against Mr. Jitendra Prasad fought Mrs. Gandhi. I don't think we have any elections anywhere else. Now, be what it may, internal elections is a must. We will have it. Let there be no denial about that. We will go from strength to strength on these issues. I agree with Professor Saab that yes, that is a way forward. But let me remind some of the panelists here that a lot of things that happened in this election, despite, they talked about leadership to be there, savvy leaders. You see, there is a limit when you can assassinate democracy. What happened in Goa was rightly mentioned, the chief minister was defeated. 6 ministers fell off, and here arrived...
The same logic can be applied to Manipur as well.
I am coming to it. This was a response to 5 years. Okay? In 5 years, the people of Goa defeated the chief minister, 6 ministers of the... There's something called propriety in this country. If the media falls to the fact that, well, all is hunky-dory and there is, Congress did not act, I mean, the Raj Bhavan shut their door. They were not taking calls. We were desperately trying to get in touch with Raj Bhavan, but the reality is Raj Bhavan just slammed the door. And they are saying that we were trying to investigate who is the leader. Now, you come down to Manipur. What is the situation? 15 years rule. And what is it? We are still the leading party. You may say vote percentage. There what happened? There again, a former Congress member who has now joined the Bharatiya Janata Party. I mean, we have known her, we respect her for her, the kind of justice she has always done. But what happened to her is something very surprising. Raj Bhavans have played their games. And now, you see, this is civil society. You can't go into Raj Bhavan, make claims and do that. You have blocked it via Raj Bhavans, and that operation is on.
Sure.
So to blame Congress leadership in each centre, whether it's Goa or is not appropriate, because you are facing a situation where they have locked stock, stopped us, blocked us.
Okay, is that what happened? Rajesh wants to come in, yeah.
Definitely, we have not blocked anyone. My friend from Congress, can you tell that did anyone from Congress went to the governors taking the claim? Did any deposited any letters supporting? Did they tried for that? They were very much confident that they cannot make the government. No one was coming to support them. That was very clear. And seeing on the leadership front, I will say one thing very categorically. You would have seen the persons from Himanta Biswa who has joined BJP, his verdict. The person who is joining in Manipur, his verdict. If you take the call of everyone everywhere, definitely it is resentment against Rahul Gandhi and the Gandhian family. Now the people have rejected this family type of politics, family-led party politics. May it be Samajwadi Party, may it be Congress. This family-led politics is finished and rejected in today's scenario. One more thing I will be saying very categorically. In Punjab they want, check the number of programs and road shows and other type of rallies done by Rahul Gandhi. It was all Amrinder show. So everyone knew that it was an Amrinder show. And if you take the history of Punjab, I have noted it down. Every term there is a change in Punjab government, because there is a place where you can always see that anti-incumbency do work, and anti-incumbency hasn't worked for 10 years. This is the history in Punjab, that never Chief Minister was there for 10 years there.
Sure, fair enough.
Every time there is a change.
You know, talking about Punjab, Siddharth Vadakkan, there was a ray of hope as far as the Congress was concerned in Punjab. You know, Navjot Singh Sidhu seemed like the only one who came out and spoke positively about the Congress, talking about the future, saying that the Congress's revival is going to start from Punjab. He's the only one who seems to be enthusiastic at the moment within the Congress party.
That's because he's new and he doesn't know how the Congress party works. You see, the fact is that the Punjab victory, as the BJP spokesperson is saying, was largely the result of Amrinder's work. And it is quite remarkable that the naming of Amrinder, captain, as chief ministerial candidate came quite late in the day and came quite grudgingly from Rahul Gandhi. And the lesson that if the Congress is to revive, if the Congress is to grow again, it can only do so on the basis of renewed strength in the states, is unfortunately not a lesson that I think the Congress High Command is willing to internalize. You asked, what is it that prevents the Congress from having elections? I don't think it's the fear of their own defeat. I think the position of Sonia or Rahul Gandhi is quite impregnable in that party, the way things stand right now. But what they don't want to give up is the ability to pick favorites, to nominate who will lead the Congress in Rajasthan, who will lead the Congress in Uttarakhand or Madhya Pradesh. And as long as they insist on keeping that prerogative in their hands and not allowing the ordinary party workers in those states to decide who will lead them, I don't think the Congress party will ever be in a position to challenge the political dominance of the BJP. You know, recently there was an interview of Gehlot in Rajasthan where he was asked are you the leader or is, Sachin Pilot? I forget how the question was framed. But he said it's the high command who will decide. As long as you have that culture, as long as it's not up to the Congress worker in Rajasthan to decide for herself or himself who is the best leader of the party in the state, and then once they select that leader, they work wholeheartedly behind them. I don't see how the party can revive itself in any of these states, and I think that's the fundamental lesson that the Congress party needs to internalize if it wants to rise from the ashes, as it were.
Indeed, it probably has to reinvent itself, and in a big way, of course. But Professor Mukherjee, I'm taking forward the point that Siddharth was making about strong state leaders. Captain Amrinder Singh is an example in Punjab, and if you look at history as well, recent history, Madhavrao Sindhya, YSR Reddy, SM Krishna, all of them were strong state leaders who held the Congress party together in their respective states, and also this had national ramifications. Is that what the Congress party is lacking at this point in time? Strong state leaders like some of them that I just mentioned.
Well, I think you have had it's not a black and white picture. I mean, you have also had in certain states, for example, chief ministers who have lasted a pretty long time. I mean, Congress chief ministers. I mean, in Assam, for example, Tarun Gogoi, now
Sure.
Of course he lost. And anti-incumbency is a reason not only, in one place, but in fact, many BJP successes can also be attributed to anti-incumbency. But so, I mean, it's not black and white picture. I think there have been places where significant local leadership has grown and has consolidated itself. Amrinder, for example, is a good example, even though it is well known that he did not get along with Rahul, yet ultimately he did emerge and all that. So it's not, I said, a black and white picture, but certainly as an overall trend, I think it is correct to say that the Congress must stand on the shoulders of strong leaders at the regional level. Also, I think today's India is, the polity is far more, for want of a better word, let me say federalized, in the sense that there is a strong feeling, a stronger feeling among states about their own autonomy, about their own identity, about their own language, than perhaps was there in the 50s and 60s and 70s. And I think you need to recognize that. And the Congress party has been able to do it for the last, more than 100 years. And there is no reason why it cannot do that again. As I said, even now it's not a black and white picture. But sure. I see no reason why. And I would also say that apart from the broad generalizations which I talked about, I think it's also important for revival to show what you can do. I mean, now you won in Punjab. I think you need to come out with a Punjab model of development and a Punjab model of politics, which then you can showcase and say, this is what we now will bring to the country, and this is better than what others are offering you. This is, the BJP went to town on a existing or non-existent Gujarat model of development. I think wherever you have successes, whether it's Karnataka, you are in power in this thing, you need to show how you are different. I think,
and also be able to sell the story.
Yes, but you see, I think that a significant point has been made when we have been discussing what's happened in the US, what's happening in Europe, what's happening in India, is that people are getting fed up with business as usual. So they want something different. Now you've got to be able to show then that you are something different. If you're not something different, people will then continue to look for something different.
Indeed.
The AAP party indeed was a phenomenon that answered that need.
Sure.
Now it may have fizzled out, but when it came up, it was answering that need.
Indeed. You need to reinvent yourself, and you need a breath of fresh air, Tom Vadakkan. Where is that going to come from?
Well, while all this is being said about the Congress party, I would like to shift the searchlight to the Bharatiya Janata Party. Elections won, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand. Please tell me who's their chief minister. Is it to be nominated from Delhi? Is Mr. Amit Shah going to nominate, or Mr. Modi? Let me complete. The point here is there are certain problems on leadership issues, who's competent. They're taking their time, none of our business to find out. But to say everything is honky-dory, they decide and they're quick and what have you. Uttar Pradesh, no answers yet. Prime Minister can't be Chief Minister everywhere. He's campaigning, he's a wonderful orator. But point is, he's selling dreams. And dream merchants are always successful in the beginning. The point is, sustain it. Wherever there is elections, Goa he was thrown out. Chief Minister out, six ministers out. And still you say, well, look at it, there is no problem there. And then you back through the back door, use the kind of money that's going around. You promise that you will fight against the system, and nothing of that kind happens. You make promises and you don't deliver. That kind of promises anybody can do. But the issue here is delivery. Now you're going to face the music. There is Rajasthan. There is Madhya Pradesh. Let's see what happens there.
There is also Karnataka, the
There's
only
Karnataka
big state where the Congress is in power.
That's true, I'm saying. But point is, don't turn around to the Congress and say, oh, look, you don't have important leaders. We have them. Kerala, Umman Chandi,
So should the
Himachal.
BJP should the BJP be concerned then in the elections to come?
They should be concerned.
Okay.
We are going to fight it out.
Okay,
But
fair
point is, to write the obituary is very easy. But let me tell you, it's not too early. I think it's quite early in the day. We'll come back and we'll tell them what.
So the revival is going to start
It's
from
going
Punjab.
to happen, definitely.
Fine, fair enough. Yes, Rajesh.
From Congress is saying that we have not maintained the consistency in many of the states. How can that be? In Chhattisgarh, you can see how long we are here. In Gujarat, we can see how long we are here. In Madhya Pradesh, we can see we have proved our rule there by performing for the poor, for the needy, for all the classes of the society across, and we are acceptable, and everyone knows that we are going to be repeated again and again due to good governance. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, which is one of the motto of this government, which we have taken ahead. And if we take off Rajasthan, Karnataka and all other states, definitely the way I went to Uttar Pradesh, the way I found it from all classes, across religion, across caste politics, religion politics, which was done by all the parties in past, have come to an end. Now it is a development politics, and it will take a shape of development politics, where I can say that Bharatiya Janata Party has proved, and this 3 years we have gathered a good ground everywhere, and definitely we are going to emerge as an umbrella party, and definitely I can see opposition is required. Opposition in every party, in every government is required. I don't deny that, because they are the one who will be opposing if we don't perform. So that is required. But at the same time, now Bharatiya Janata Party is unacceptable.
I'm glad that you're accepting that, a strong opposition is indeed required, and that's good coming from a BJP spokesperson. But Professor, I'm going to let you have the last word on the program. Let me get into that, Vadakkan, as well, because I've got time for just 2 quick comments on the program. As far as the Congress party is concerned, do you see them reviving themselves anytime in the near future? What is it that the Congress party really needs to do going forward?
I don't think the Congress is going to do much, quite frankly. The very fact that Rahul Gandhi was unable to take Akhilesh Yadav's side in Lucknow to own responsibility for an unsuccessful election campaign, I'm not saying that you have to take the blame or that you have to wear sackcloth and ashes, but some explanation, some accountability, some sharing of responsibility is what people expect of their leaders, and this is not visible in the Congress party. It wasn't visible after 2014, and unless leaders can introspect over the reasons for their defeat, prospects of doing something different and prospects of bouncing back will always be rather slim.
Indeed, fair enough. And yes, your concluding remarks on the program, Professor Mukherjee, close the show for us.
Well, I want to make 2 comments. One, I just wanted to put in a caveat to what my friend here said. I thought there was a lot of overgeneralization about what had happened in UP, caste equations and everything had suddenly disappeared, and a developmental agenda is what had really mobilized people. We've all, learnt and read in detail about all the minute caste equations that were worked out, how the calculations of how many members belonging to which caste and community were given tickets. So let's not suddenly now start believing this rhetoric about that caste has disappeared as a factor in the mobilization of the BJP. It's a combination of factors. The other thing that I'd like to say is, I think what is very important is that the Congress realizes it, very good for them. There is a need for the left of centre space, which the Congress has traditionally occupied, to be occupied by a political force in India. It's an important space. in Indian politics. And if the Congress is not able to occupy it, then something else will occupy it.
Sure.
And, you know, I think if we talk in long historical terms, I think that is what is before us, is that who is going to lead and occupy that very important left of center space in Indian politics.
Indeed. I think time will tell us that, and we'll exactly know in a couple of years of time as to who will occupy that space. That's all the time we have on this edition of The Big Picture. Mridula, Mukherjee, Siddharth, Vadakkan, Rajesh, Sharma and Tom Vadakkan, thank you so much for joining me on the program and putting things into perspective for us. That's all the time we have. See you again next time.